under 23 11, okay? And it's right now this season. I know we're gonna have some players here that I might be biased of the form, not this season. So you want to start?
Wait, you biased? There's no way.
Well, it's not biased. It's just I can't not I can't forget how good they were. So
Sure.
I have to mention them even with the low games this season. I gotta say those.
Okay. All right. Well,
it's the start.
then you know me. I will be the one that sticks solely to form
Exactly.
as it stands right now. So yeah, good. Then we'll have some differences, I think. But what we're doing right now is we're doing the U23 best 11 of the season so far. And I think we got to start at goalkeeper. Who is your goalkeeper?
Gigi Donnarumma. Okay, and I'm just gonna say, I know it was last season too, but like the Euros, all that top form, leading up to PSG, goes to PSG. I still believe fully in Champions League football that he has performed well in Champions League games. He's gonna be there, and Real Madrid will be facing Gigi Donnarumma at PSG. So for me, he's my guy, Donnarumma.
Yeah, and you obviously can't deny the talent there. But for me, I'm going to go based on form this season. And maybe this is part of the mea culpa. This is part of like me apologizing for you and I ever doubting this transfer. But my goalkeeper is Aaron Ramsdale. And I think that the 10 clean sheets in the Premier League kind of speak for themselves. I think the wearing your heart on your sleeve speaks for itself, and the promise of maybe one day becoming the top goalkeeper for England heading into the World Cup. I don't know if it's too soon, but there's no doubt Ramsdale has earned his keep, earned his fandom, earned his excitement at the Gunners. So yeah, goalkeeper so far, Aaron Ramsdale for me.
Okay, yeah, you mentioned it. We were hard on Ramsdale because of the fee, but he's proven us wrong, man. You're right.
Yep.
You're right. So defense. Now, I'm going to say, at the left, Noon Minch, okay, I still believe, because Fonzie Davies injured, man. You know what I mean? So, it's clear, Noon Minch. And the player that I was doubting, I would have put Cucurella, too. I think he's in really good form. But I go Noon Minch still. Then, at the two center backs, I go simple. Best under 23 center backs, in my opinion, right now in form. Ronald Araújo, okay? And Jules Koundé. And then, at the right, Trent. So my defense right now has Donnarumma, Noon Minch, Ronald Araújo, Koundé, and at the right, Trent. There you go.
Yeah.
So
all right. Okay. Well, we have a difference in opinion on the left back, which is going to be probably the way for the near future. But I still have Fonzie Davies because even though he has been sidelined with these heart things, and we hope he's back soon. He was almost back to his previous form, right? I mean, he had already racked up 6 assists. He was looking good in the Champions League. He was just part of the Bayern machine all over again. But if not Alphonso Davies, I would have put, and this is kind of a weird one, although I love Cucurella and I think he's incredibly and massively underrated. I really think David Raum for Hoffenheim it deserves a shout. 2 goals, 6 assists, 23 years old. He's worked his way into the German national team conversation. I mean, that's pretty damn good. And if you're not going to go with Raum, Sergio Gomez deserves a shout at Anderlecht.
Yes.
13 assists, 6 goals. He wasn't born a left back, right? He's kind of worked into that role. So I got a lot of backups there, a lot of caveats. But in the end, I still have to go with Davies, and I hope he's back back soon. Our center backs are almost the same. I wrestled with Ronald Araujo because I actually do think it should be Jules Koundé and Ronald Araujo. But I still went with Jurrien Timber just because how effortless he's made being his age and how good he has looked. And I understand there is a difference in quality between La Liga and what Barcelona is going through and in the Eredivisie, but he's been phenomenal in the Champions League as well for Ajax. So I put, because I had a feeling you were going to put Araujo, I put Jurrien Timber just because he certainly deserves a shout. And the fact that he deserves a shout beyond the Sven Botmans and the William Saliba, who has been solid. Yeah. And Bastoni. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yep.
just shows me, the promise that we think he's going to provide and grow into. But at some point, he's going to need to take that next step from Ajax to another club, and I just wonder when that's going to be. And then my right back is Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I don't even want to get into this conversation because, if you go down the rabbit hole of he can't defend, he can't do this.
that's
come on.
That's cap. That's cap.
It is. It is cap, but Hakimi's been pretty damn good as of late. But I think in terms of consistency, Alexander-Arnold, he's at the top of so many different statistical categories in the top 5. Those stats don't mean everything, but the kid is otherworldly in terms of creating chances, in terms of progressing the ball, in terms of he's a beating heart of that Liverpool attack. He's only 23, and he's doing that. So I still got to put him. So my defense is Davies, Koundé, Jurrien Timber, and Trent Alexander-Arnold.
It's you mentioned it. It's stats, but it's stats and moments. Who has better moments than Trent at right back in the world? No one. And I'll tell you, maybe in the 10 years, it'll be difficult to find a right back with these moments, especially at the age of 23. But Reece James is injured. I say that makes it much easier because Reece James prime, Hakimi prime. I'm having doubts with those two because Reece James has no flaws. Literally, he can score, he can defend, he can cross it. I really have doubts between those two, but Trent, magnifique. But yes, the center backs, Bastoni, I love it. So midfielders, okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna say I love this. My midfield personally. Before I say it, I'm just gonna say for me, underrated. They should be spoken much more than they are. And they will be. Let's be positive. So I'm going to start first mention Tchouaméni. Okay, Tchouaméni at Monaco right now is no doubt in my mind a top 10 central midfielder in the world in form. The captain, the leader of Monaco, and France plays in a double pivot with Pogba and Tchouaméni. Okay, this guy is a baller and he's under 23, 80 million. It's justifiable for Real Madrid to go out and pay. Every year that passes by is 20 more million for Tchouaméni at Monaco. That's how I see things. So get him fast.
There's inflation around the world, so I'd expect even more than 20 million.
There you go. Then the other center midfielder, I'm going to go with a player that he tackles, he defends, he does it all. He's the fuel of that team, just like Tchouaméni at Monaco. It's Declan Rice at West Ham, okay? That he's built different. Different gravy, man. There's a reason why Man United are quaking their boots when they play against West Ham. At the midfield, Scott McTominay and Fred against Declan Rice, you're going to get bullied. And they did. Yeah. So I fully believe that West Ham, it's very difficult for you to keep Declan Rice. And he is the future of England. This is a player that is no doubt Jude Bellingham, you're trying to go and play next to Declan Rice in that midfield. Sure. Okay? So he's the future of England. And then at the cam, right now this season, I got to say it. You love him. I love him. It's Florian Wirtz, man. Wirtz is built different in stats, in moments, just like I said with Trent. And the future of the Dachmannschaft is with Florian Wirtz. And let's see it happening. So my midfield, guys, just to recap, Tchouaméni, Declan Rice, and Florian Wirtz at the camp. This is an underrated midfield. Ball.
Yeah, those are. I think you told me I was going to be surprised, but I think we have more aligned than you know. Florian Wirtz actually he leads with no other than Thomas Mueller. He leads all top 5 leagues in goal creating actions. So I know that feels obscure, but that basically tells you he is the fulcrum. And the kid's 18 years old, may have just turned 19, but he's 18 years old. So I'm with you here. I've got at D mid, I've got Declan Rice. I didn't go with Tchouaméni just because Declan Rice has West Ham punching above their weight. He's the lifeblood of that. You can English tax me all you want. You can talk about all that stuff. I do feel Declan Rice is actually pretty underrated. Yeah. And it is kind of funny that you and I have turned a corner on this and been talking about this more because, Tchouaméni is a baller, but Declan Rice for me wins that over. And then I had to put another kind of lifeblood type of situation. Just a phenomenal player having a great year for an underperforming side, and that's Jude Bellingham at Dortmund. Okay. He's higher than Trent, believe it or not, in goal creating actions. He's direct. He's tenacious. I think he's growing exponentially. And he's a whole lot of fun to watch. So while there are better center mids out there right now, Bellingham gets my choice. And then at Cam, I've got Florian Wirtz, man. But I got to shout a couple others.
Please do. Okay? Please do.
Yeah. I mean, because we didn't mention Pedri. He's just getting back. We didn't mention Sandro Tonali.
Mason Mount.
Phil Foden, we're not even really mentioning here. Gavi or Gravenberg. But one I just got to throw out there is going to irk maybe Arsenal fans. One of the most progressive players this year and tenacious players, wears his heart on his sleeve. And I know had a rocky road at Arsenal and still would if he ever returned. Matteo Guendouzi has been playing phenomenally for Marseille this year. And it ain't just the hair, man. He's been very, very good. He is not part of my midfield, but I just felt like I had to mention him.
But you have to, the facts. Truth is, there's two players that could be in this. They're being snubbed and closely performing to be in this best under 23. You mentioned Guendouzi and Saliba. Both have a say to play in this team. That's crazy, man. Guendouzi, Mason Mount too, Saka, and it's the fact too. I gotta say, like Fonzie Davies, I didn't put him too because he was injured, and Wesley Fofana too, he was injured. So that's another stuff. But Saliba and Guendouzi, watch out, people. But you wanna go to the front three, Breton?
Yeah, do it. This is just makes me angry.
It makes you angry, and it makes me angry if this happens to Real Madrid next season, okay? Because the front three, if you don't know, it's simple, I guess. Mbappé, Haaland, and Vinicius Jr. This season, no one can be ahead, okay, in the top three ahead of Vinicius Jr. Beforehand, I'd say Foden was in this generational category. That he is. I do believe Foden is special. But Vinicius Jr. getting the finishing locked is like saying, I'm a cheat code right now, guys. Okay? I'm built different. And so that's why he's in my under 23 winger spot. That's it.
I agree with most of that. I'm going to push back on one. I mean, Erling Haaland has actually missed 11 games this season, and he's already still got 23 goals, 6 assists in 20 games.
Exactly.
So, yeah, he's absolutely ridiculous. But why? Here's why I'm going to put Dusan Vlahovic over him, okay? Vlahovic has actually been doing it against very quality teams, competition, okay? So, my front three is Vinicius, it is Vlahovic, and it is Kylian Mbappe. Vinicius is very simple. He's actually beating Mbappe in a lot of metrics, progressive carries into the box, all sorts of things that won't show up on the stat sheet. No, by the way, he's also got 15 goals, 10 assists. And we know why Kylian Mbappe is there, because you can whatever wax poetic about League One just not being this, not being that, but the dude's got 19 goals, 16 assists. He does it everywhere, right? He's just insane. He does it in the Champions League. He does it in League One. He does it wherever he wants to.
I agree.
Okay. Why do I pick Vlahovic over Erling Haaland? Well, Vlahovic has 20 goals, 4 assists. A lot of it is because he has kept a middling team as dangerous can be. He has had ridiculous performances against AC Milan and Atalanta and some others, while Erling Haaland still cannot beat Bayern Munich. Okay, I don't mean this in a negative at all with Erling Haaland. Yeah, but like, come on, he had 4 of those 23 goals for Haaland were in the DFB Pokal, right, in a cup play. He has 2 goals and 4 assists against Frankfurt this year, and like 3 goals against Greuther Fürth. I don't know if that's how you say their name. It hasn't exactly come against quality competition. He is an absolute freak of nature, and very likely by the end of the season, Erling Haaland will absolutely deserve to be in this 11, right? It's the same for me as Phil Foden. Phil Foden, by the end of this year, when we start getting into massive, massive games, like Manchester City doesn't need Phil Foden to light the world up every game. right? They need Phil Foden to serve a role. And Phil Foden has done that, and he has earned the praise and the trust of one of the best, one of the best coaches around.
100%. Phil Foden is ahead of Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
So and Jack Grealish was 100 million. So that is a testament of how good Phil Foden is. So gonna say the 11s, so we can have a recap here with the 11s. So at the goal, I go with Donnarumma. At the left, Nunes with Ronald Araújo, Jules Koundé, and at the right, Trent. Then my midfield, Tchouaméni, Declan Rice, and Florian Wirtz, and the strike force, Mbappé, Haaland, and Vinicius Jr. Laporta, please don't make this happen for real.
All right, my 11. My goalkeeper is Aaron Ramsdale. My left back's Fonzie Davies. My two center backs are Jules Koundé and Jurrien Timber. Right back is Trent Alexander-Arnold. I've got Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham, an all-English midfield with my cam Florian Wirtz. I love that we're in agreement with that. And we've got Vinicius Vlahovic and Kylian Mbappe up top. And one more thing. If Dusan Vlahovic had other things, like he didn't even really play in Coppa Italia this year, if he had European competition, I do think Vlahovic would have maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 more goals to his name.
That is true.
Right? And he doesn't have it. So he technically could be beating, Erling Haaland on goals scored this year. But the funny thing is Erling Haaland's a freak of nature. This is nothing against him. We know that he probably will be we got to shout out a couple others that are having ridiculous years though. Jonathan David's been phenomenal for Lille. Amin Gouiri, Victor Osimhen, Darwin Núñez. These guys just, they're great, but they're not Erling Haaland or Vlahovic right now.
Darwin, though, man. Yeah, I agree with you. And Karima Dayami, I agree with you. You got ballers out there, but Darwin, that's But people, tell us who should be in our best under 23 11. Put down below in the comment section. Please don't forget to like the video. It's a huge help, man.